YouTube. What is up? We're back. Episode 23. We, of course, came off the back of last episode. The best show ever. Kickoff Carnage 50. And I, of course, was sort of playing with the idea. It was our last Kickoff Carnage show, but I've decided, for the moment, Kickoff Carnage will continue. And the new plan is, right now we're on course to hit small size 35 pop in December. So for the remainder of 2024, which is 5 more shows if we do 2 shows a month, which we are going to continue, which of course has been our formula for the whole year and last year, I believe. We will keep running Kickoff Carnage, 2 events a month. We hit small size in December, and then starting on January is when we will move to the TV show. You know, new year, new me, new size company. It just seems better to do it that way. I'm still glad we did a huge show for Kickoff Carnage 50 because it's a milestone in its own right, doing 50 shows, and obviously we were crowning our first ever tag team champion. I also actually got new renders, by the way. I got new renders done. I say done. The AI did them, but they turned out pretty good. We got a new one for the Great Lakes champion as well. And then when we hit small size is when we'll debut our new main event, World Heavyweight PWW champion. But the reason I'm waiting, some people might ask, I don't think anyone really has, no one's really bothered, but people are probably wondering why we're like 23 episodes in and only now have a second championship. But the reason is prestige, for me, I feel like, is very hard to get. But for every size your company is, when you make a title, the starting default prestige for that title is huge. So when we made the Great Lakes Championship, I think it was insignificant, we made it our main title, and I believe it was 30 or 25 pop, and we rose it all the way up over the years to 41. I just debuted the tag team champs, and it's already 40, you know? So if we get to small and then debut a world heavyweight, it'll be the highest prestige belt we have, which obviously will reflect the importance of it because it's going to be our main event, our title we'll have. And I have a nice render for that set out too, which is nice. They all turned out pretty good, to be honest. But yeah, things are looking good. We tried off camera to offer Logan another $1,000 because I'm throwing money away at the moment, but it didn't work. He's still annoyed, so it is what it is. He's going to have to just be annoyed, I guess. We can't really fix it. I renegotiated a bunch of the tag teams that we brought in for the tournament so that they'll all leave soon. So this show should be the last time we see pretty much all of them. Money wise, even though we still have one show to do, we're actually 2,000 in the red. Production is looking way more beefy than I was anticipating when I crunched the numbers. We obviously did upgrade live events, which would need to add on 2k, so that's like 9. That was 9 over 2 shows, to about $9,000 we would lose. But right now per show, from the first one, it was 5.2k. So we might be a little bit over. We'll probably lose money. But let's jump into the show because it's tonight. Kickoff Carnage 51, and then after the show we'll have a little peek at the finances. I am anticipating losing money. I'll be surprised if we make money by the end of the month, to be honest. Give the night off, no one, generic. We're expecting a good like 60 odd more fans than the last show, which is really good. That may help with the tickets. Generic, we are finalising a broadcaster. We debuted on Wrestle World, I think it was around 25,000 people, which I forgot to show last episode. which was pretty good. I wasn't even expecting it to be that much. Although I also thought WrestleWorld was free to use, but it's actually, I thought it was like YouTube, but it's not. It's an actual subscription service, which is fine. But I mean, it's good. It makes us we get a little bit of money from it. Booking team meeting. Now, I do remember mentioning this about the fact I wanted to put my user avatar, Craig Prince, he's the team booking leader, but it didn't seem possible to take him off. I think default wise he's just generated to do it. I don't think I actually can remove him. I don't ever remember adding him to the team, so I must have just been on the team. But calculating our CE, we actually generate like a lot, like 216 here. So if I add even one of the two booking skill workers I was going to add, we actually don't need to remove anyone. It doesn't even matter, you know. If it's not broke, don't fix it, essentially, is a nice life lesson. So I'm just going to add one, probably the one who's also the head booker on Mid Atlantic Wrestling. I think his name's Ernest or Marvin. Oh god, that's so bad. It's because he's new. I'm just drawing a blank on his name. It's the play-by-play commentator we have. I'll probably add him as the fifth member, and I'm not going to remove anyone. We'll just leave it. We'll just leave it as it is. Creative finishes. Oh, these character ideas are good. I forgot we had them. Right, creative finish. We need we need something here. Come on. A near certainty for Papa Swole. Okay, that's not too bad. It's not ideal, but likely to succeed. Right, let's do one more. A safe bet for Hangman. Right, that's not really worked out, but fine. Okay, one more. Since we can afford it. Oh my god, it's with restrictions again for Sasquatch. Right, one more. We'll use all of it. A bit. Oh my god, I've never seen so many creative finishes all have restrictions on a certain worker. Jesus Christ. Well, we've run out. We maxed out our energy and we've used it all. Architect runs training drills. As you can see, there's two new members. It's a up and coming tag team who will probably be in action tonight, so we'll talk about that more when we book them. But 6 students get basics and safety training. The backstage gossip is that Brett Kyle and Aces High have been separated after a heated argument. That's fine because Aces High is leaving really soon. Apparently, Tavin Blake Jr. and Aces High. Yeah, Aces High is not. This guy's. Yeah, an egomaniac. Never mind. Mutant came to you backstage with an idea for a creative finish. Okay. So we have about 5 creative finishes, all restricted to one worker. LA Star lifted the locker room when he organised and then won a video game tournament. Zippy gave the locker room a lift as well. Nice. Address we will not. In fact, do we maybe try and pull a rib on Sasquatch or Logan and see if it helps? Or is that a bit risky? Maybe we could. Let's try it with Sasquatch first. He's annoyed. What's his thing? He's quiet personality. What about Logan? Oh, prickly. Yeah, we don't want to do it to him. Do we take the risk? Or am I being stupid by doing this? There's a 10% chance of upsetting them and a 30% chance of improving locker room morale. And there's also a 15% chance of improving their morale. Those odds are not very good, I'm not going to lie. Let's do it. Okay, nothing happened, basically. Whatever. That was very anticlimactic. Anyway, let's get this show booked. Okay, here we go. This time, this is a more of a clean-up show, you could say. With we have obviously 3 different tag teams departing after this show, so I'm trying to be a little sneaky with stealing some of their pop before they go. So we have a few unhappy chappies, and we also need to try and clean up the creative finish ideas. We have so many restrictions for certain workers that I think there's 3 or 4 active on this show, which is good. Some a little risky, some not so much. Hopefully it doesn't backfire. But we're starting off strong in front of 738 people, and it's basically just more of a celebration. Pappas Wool congratulating his buddies backstage. The new tag team champs are first ever, making history, becoming the Tag Team Immortal Tournament champions. They're just, he's real proud of them. It's another real wholesome moment. Pappas Wool came out of it looking good too. Hangman improvised well. We get a 62. Great angle. Gets the crowd hot. Show off to a strong start. No complaints. As we move into a debuting matchup here, we actually get a really good rating. We essentially are debuting the Hot Tags, who is two brothers. Now, the reason these guys on paper aren't as good as any of the people in the tournament, right? But pretty much all the tag teams I'm using in the tournament, or was, because the tournament's over, they are costing on average like 400-500 per person per show. It's not worth it. So, in terms of building for the future, well, pretty much we've done with everyone we've signed. We haven't really brought in anyone who already was super over, apart from maybe Logan Willspain and maybe Ernest, but we didn't even use Ernest in the end. But Wolfie and Calder Tag basically meet that memo of building guys up from zero. So they're pretty cheap. They're not really that well known here, but they've got like potential to turn out pretty decent. Not amazing. They won't be tag team champions probably anytime soon. I think it's 24 and 26, but as you can see from their debuts, they're good. And it means we've got them on a written deal for 2 years. We'll see how it goes. And they're starting off strong. They beat Hot Property with a Montana Slammer. The only downside here is their debuts, their gimmicks were not great. Awful is not great. That's like so bad. That's the worst, and inadequate's kind of on the edge. But a 46 and 45 rating's really good. A 38 and 36 for Hot Property is not bad. Wolfie and Calder, obviously, they get the tag team specialist bonus. Gets the crowd hotter, so it does its job. Lachlan's also getting better at its gimmick, so that's actually really good to see. But yeah, it's a bit of a shame, the gimmicks. I feel like we're not getting great ratings with new gimmicks, to be honest. More often than not, it doesn't really go great. The tough guy gimmick has no cons or pros though. A large penalty to charisma, but may receive a bonus when like they're probably not going to get booked dominant. So not match wise it goes very good. So let's just leave it at that and keep it positive. Good first match, to be honest, of the show. 47 is really good. I'll take it, to be honest. And the Hot Tags win their debut with PWW. Then we get a 49. Moving in a little bit of a different direction. It's a bit of a rare win for Remy. No, sorry. I'm lying. Rare win for Marco. I was going to give it to Remy, but in terms of potential pushes and stings of the sorts, it makes more sense. I think I really like Marco, and we've kind of been dogging on him ever since he joined the company. So I gave him a win here. He actually is really over in Puerto Rico, which is the other company he works for. I can never remember their name, so I just call them Puerto Rico, if for anyone wondering. He's got like mid-40s pop there. He's like a champion, multiple time champion, and he's really young. Marco, he's not old at all, but he gets the win here, submitting Stevie with a Latino crab. He's sort of got that Hispanic Viva la Raza vibe to him, which I like. He's of course the son of I think it's Sean. Is it Sean Gonzalez? The late great Sean Gonzalez. I recognise the name, but never used him in the database. Pretty good rating, no 49. Marco is a bit lacking here, but I think maybe his momentum will have a big thing to do with that. And he's not green, but he is a bit. Let's see what he gets penalised for. That'll be a better idea. Yeah, oh yeah, he has an awful gimmick, that's right. It might be time to change that actually. There's definitely enough time passed that we can change that now, but he gets the win here nonetheless, in front of almost 740 people. So it's big things, because we won't really be able to run matches like this for much longer, because I believe when we hit small size, people who are regarded as unimportant to the fans, they won't want to see them on the main show. Otherwise, we get a big penalty. The match basically is just never going to be good. So that'll change a lot. We'll need to start doing things like pre-show matches. So this is just in preparation. We're trying to build up Marco here to help him out. Then we move into a 58, which is also strike number 1 when it comes to crybabies, because we have Young and Wasted beating Long Beach Crew. Brett Kyle pins Aces, and Aces was not happy at all. But it's not going to matter too much because they're gone now. This will be the last time we see Long Beach Crew. Young and Wasted, on the other hand, both have been given 2-year written deals. One of them did get an awful gimmick, which was a really big downside, but they're also young, just like the Tag Brothers, and they're also cheap. And we can definitely build them up. There's a lot more potential with these guys. So I'm excited for that. You know, it's just the idea of building guys up rather than bringing everyone in who's like already established elsewhere. They get a really good rating too, 53, 47. We won't focus too much on the Long Beach Crew because they're leaving. But overall, very good match. 58 rating. Huge win. On the cards wise, popularity wise, this is huge for Young and Wasted. Into a 64. And this is also Rich and Famous. This is their last appearance with us. I believe they were actually also about to complain, but funnily enough, they saw I think they like saw Sandman Winks cracking his knuckles and they stopped, which I thought was funny because Sandman Winks doesn't really, to me anyway, come across as a big menacing, scary guy, which is just, yeah, it's just a bit funny, but it saves the complaint. I do like Rich and Famous, but the name speaks for itself. They are fucking cost a lot of money. They're rich to hire, let's put it that way. So Sandman Winks here submits Jackpot with a deep sleep, 64 rating. Obviously, as we see, that's huge. The match was pretty much carried by Jake Idle up to a 61. We did use Sandman Winks' creative finish, which was a success. Huge win for the past masters. They're obviously very well known here, but overall pop wise, they are not quite over. They're actually not even close to being our most popular tag team, so we definitely need to boost that up. So huge win for them, to be honest. Then we have Mutant Promo 75, the man himself, making his entrance for his big match tonight against another departing superstar. Let's hope he can get a really good match here too. 75 rating's huge. Oh, we get a 58. It's not great, but we did use a creative finish, which was a success. 55 for Mutant. And he's got up against E. Soteric, who, again, was a very big crybaby. But now I'm thinking about it, you would feel like someone would be much more likely to say no or sort of put their foot down to lose to Sandman Winks than Mutant. Because Mutant's like 350 pounds, 6'7". The guy's a beast. I think actually Esoteric's like labelled as a beast too. I think he's like a boxer or former boxer, something crazy like that anyway. I'm trying to check actually for Mutant if he gets penalised for inconsistency, but he doesn't. He obviously does. He gets penalised for stamina still, which is funny to this day, the whole stamina thing. If you know, you know. Odd face and heel combo, fair enough. Okay, fair enough. 58 is still solid though. Good win for Mutant. This will help boost his pop as well. Before we get rid of these guys, we're just sucking every last drop out of them. Not really. We aren't actually, to be honest. Not as bad as we have done in the past with like Zomboy and Wicked Lester when we absolutely sucked those guys dry. Pause. You know, no diddy. Pause on that one. But moving in now, I believe we're promo from the man himself, Architect. Oh, the segment deserved better commentary. That's the first time we've seen that. It's an 82 segment, and it's just the Architect being the Architect before his main event match. You know, he's talking about how the company is throwing outside talent at him. No one, they can't beat him. He's getting put in ladder matches. No one can beat him. Table matches, submission matches, cage matches, 1v1 triple threats. He's just hyping himself up, basically getting over, and it's working. Let's hope his match can live up as well to all the talk. They don't seem to click, and it made for an awkward bout, which obviously massively affected the in-ring performances. But he did beat Tavon Blake Jr., the other half of Esoteric. The only difference being is Tavon didn't cry like a baby to lose this match. But it's I think 66 might be round about the best match of the night, but it's a bit of a shame if it wasn't for the chemistry or the awkward click. It would have been a lot better, because our creative finish, which was bound to Architect, also was a success, but it's kind of been cushioned by the bad awkward bout. No, but it's a win for the Architect. Submission with a blueprint. Overall, our show, the fans are disappointed the storyline featured the show. But no, okay, I mean, we did have it on. Okay, yeah, that's on me. It's fine though. A 65 is actually huge. That's actually a really, really good rating. I don't actually know if the note about your storylines actually affects the rating of the storyline. I don't think it does. Ours is always like tip top. But yeah, I need to stop. I really need to stop with this. I could have just added Tavon into the bloody storyline just for tonight, but I'm just not. My head's not screwed on tonight, I don't think, which is a bad start because I've just started recording. But yeah, 65 is good. We're actually not going to pause here. We're going to keep going, because we want to have a look at the finances now that we know the plan is to stick to 2 events for the rest of the year. I want to know, now that we've been on Wrestle World for 2 shows, how much it's actually going to affect the bank account, or how much of an overturn we need to do between now and the end of the year to get in the green. Right, let me think. Who could we give this to? Who deserves it? Who needs it? I don't really need to give it to anyone in terms of for morale, because that's kind of the whole point. We'll just give it to who actually did good. You know what? You know who we'll give it to? The Tag Brothers for their debut, because it was actually a lot better than I thought it would be, given their stature and experience. Financial report: we make money, but don't be fooled by this. We're obviously paying out bonuses to we did to Logan, so that needs to be taken into effect. We almost made 6k though, and another 2,000 on broadcast, so that's pretty much stayed the same. It's not really moved at all. 5,000 on workers, which will go down starting next month. This should definitely go down. Popularity, that's weird. Not only did we not go up in the Great Lakes, it just didn't move. It's not highlighted yellow at all. That's the first. I think that might be the first time I've ever seen that. Interesting. Maybe you essentially can generate more popularity per show when on a broadcaster because of the coverage. Meaning, at the minute, being on Wrestle World, we reach the maximum cap we can go up in 1 month with one show, if that makes sense. So in one show, one event with Wrestle World at the minute, we go up so much that we're capped essentially with just that one show for the whole month. Maybe not though. Maybe I'm overthinking it. But we go up. Puerto Rico, Hawaii goes up a few in Canada. Nothing crazy. I'm probably wrong. No, it probably doesn't work that way. I'm just thinking out loud, to be honest. We only got a couple more days. What does this say? Oh, we have some opinions. I haven't had these in a while. Taylor Norton's pretty good in the ring. You should push him. From Blue Dragon. And Esoteric, who's leaving soon, also says stealing or isn't tough enough for the business. Oh my god, it's like the angel and the devil. What the hell? It's literally the polar opposites. That's funny. Kickoff Carnage, yeah, 25,000. I believe that was pretty much the exact same as last show. Let me see. 25,700, 25,000. Yeah, or actually it was less than last show. Which is fair. But we got a couple of days to advance here to the end of the month, and then we'll take a look at finances. I'm anticipating a loss, but hopefully it's not going to be too much. Production, at least, has cost us for those two shows, I'm going to say about $10,000, but we've probably made that back in ticket sales easy. I think we've probably made about 11, 12k. But because our worker costs with doing the tag team tournament, that'll be a lot higher than usual. Oh yeah, Jules Knight, we forgot to get him on a written deal, so he's set up now. Written deal, 2 years. What's this? Oh, he's loaned to CZCW. By the way, for anyone familiar or wanting to know about the game world, one thing I will say is CZCW are absolutely crushing it. They won Most Improved Company last year, and I think they've rose to medium size. They've got so many good workers, all with like really good pop. They're crushing it. We're doing quite good now though. We'll have to keep an eye out now we're on WrestleWorld for Most Improved Company going forward. I doubt we'll win anything this year though. We'll need to actually do not necessarily an episode, but maybe like a segment of one of the episodes going forward where we can go over the game world and I can give you guys a better look at our roster now since it's been a while, and our pop and backstage, the creative and stuff, just give you guys an idea of what's going on right now. We'll maybe do that when we hit January, since it'll be the new year. It's probably a good time to check in on all that stuff. Right, here we go. 1st of November. We are... Okay, yeah, so, actually, let me check here. So yeah, production, just shy of 12k for keeping in mind this is 2 shows. What else was way higher? Show costs here, 4k. Workers, I mean, yeah, workers this won't be this high again. They'll probably be closer to like 5,000-6,000, honestly. We obviously did also renegotiate everyone's contract, so some people are getting paid a little bit more money, but it will not be this high. We make about 1,200 extra on ticket sales. We obviously have the new 4k on broadcast, 400 bump on sponsors, about the same on merchandise. Okay, this isn't horrible. We'll definitely lose money again next month, but it won't be this high. It really is because of the workers. And the production costs to ticket sales are almost evened out, which will be huge. Yeah, okay. It's not great, but I'm really glad we waited to do this. You know, rather than if we did this when we hit 25 pop and could actually go on WrestleWorld, we would have been done. We would have been back in the red so fast. So I'm glad we crunched the numbers and did it a bit more strategically. And it's all kind of working out in terms of rising in size, and it'll be very sort of poetic if we hit small in December and then we start the new year running 12 events with 4 TV shows a month, and obviously hitting small size, it'll be good. We can let the snowball take full effect. But I'm going to advance here and I'll cut the video, since we have a Kickoff Carnage 52 coming up real soon, and then we can get to booking. Alright, we're back, and we're actually jumping straight in to the show today. We're not going over the pre-show because I essentially have about 5 or 6 new workers from Canada. I basically went and raided Canada from ACPW, who I know are very good workers, but they're very cheap below pop, so we brought them in on 2 years, but we're not debuting any of them tonight, and I didn't want to ruin it through the pre-show, like what happened with our tag team tournament, which was a little bit annoying. So we're just jumping straight in. I do need to be careful though, because I'm realising running 2 events per month at an hour and a half, our roster's like bloated really badly. We're trying to play catch up with our size right now. Once we go to 4 TV shows a month in the event, it'll work out a bit better. But for the minute, they're if you have your favorite wrestler on the shows, you might not see them. You might not see them for a little bit. Not too long though. We're almost at the end of the year. In front of 750 people, we got the Werewolf Slam making their entrance. They're up first tonight. Very good rating. It gets the job done. Both worked the crowd well, having the freedom to improvise, using it to their advantage. So 67 rating. They actually do very good too for their match. Up against the new faces, the hot tags, they actually get the win. The Doc and Zippy beat the Tag Brothers. Zippy gets the pin on Calder, which is a little bit of an upset. The hot tags come into the promotion with a little bit of pop. Not as much as the Doc though. He's definitely got the most pop out of everyone here, but the match itself does good. 45 rating. Zippy's slowly getting better. We're trying to give him the rub of Doc. The Doc's not much better, but the Doc has obviously much better popularity, and he has a lot of psychology, which will help. But good match, to be honest. Not too much more to say about that. Another good thing about these two guys too is Zippy, in our the eyes of the fans, is unrecognisable, which means if we were booking him on his own against someone else who was unrecognisable, once we hit small, the fans basically they don't want to see it on the main show. So having someone like Doc in his corner means we can keep using him, which is obviously really good. And speaking of unrecognisable, this is more of a match with 2 of those men. Both of these guys are unrecognisable, which I don't want to be the case for Marco. I also took a little note of every person in our promotion who has a poor gimmick, and at the minute there's like 5 or 6 on the list that I want to try change their gimmick, but not necessarily their disposition. And Marco's at the top of the list. His is like so bad, and it's been so bad since he joined over a year ago. But we give him the win here against Josh Jacobs. Gets the crowd hotter. The colour commentary gave the match a boost. Okay, nice. That's good. A 45. Fairly low, but considering who we've used on the card so far, to be expected. But good exposure for these guys. Good win for Marco. Then we have our tag team champs. The first time we're seeing them in action since they won the belt, and they pick up a win against Rich and Famous. I know I said last show the tag teams we weren't keeping were leaving after that show, but it turns out they're leaving in like 2 days. It's just the way the show dates have worked out. So this is definitely Rich and Famous's last time we'll see them. I don't know if it'll be the last time we'll ever see them, because these two, I know we kind of were hoovering some of the guys up a little bit, like I mentioned, and some of them were unhappy. But Rich and Famous so far against who we've made them lose to, they haven't complained. So their morale with me or the promotion isn't bad. So the idea of them coming back might be possible, but they're quite old. They're almost in their 40s, I'm pretty sure. Not quite, but close. The match itself does good though. Blue Dragon and Hangman, almost side by side on their ratings too. 56, 52. We don't really need to go over Rich and Famous because they're gone now. Their contract ends after this show. So Dragon, it's not a tag match, a tag team title match either. It's just a normal one to get Dragon and Hangman in action. 61. Good rating. Good win for the tag champs. Then we have the champion Architect on the mic doing his thing in the ring. And then the GM, myself, comes out to basically announce, the Architect has been running his mouth a lot, as he always does, talking about how if he's against one person, two people, ladder match, table match, submission match, cage match, he can win. So it's announced his next number one contender is the much deserving Mutant, who he'll fight next show with his belt on the line. But not only that, we'll have a first ever to the promotion hardcore match, which definitely suits Mutant. He's a hardcore wrestler, essentially. Whereas Architect is not. He's out his element. I can also see here Architect invented a new catchphrase, which is huge. That's so because we use him in angles a lot, especially being the champion right now. So that is massive, actually. Actually huge. Hopefully that can be a huge knock-on effect for a while. Hopefully it lasts a while. But yeah, anyway, it's locked in. Main event, next show. Mutant and Architect for the Great Lakes champion in a hardcore match. Very good segment. 73, huge. Huge. As expected when you've got Architect in there. Oh, okay. Obviously I mentioned before about Rich and Famous could potentially return because they're leaving the promotion happy. One unhappy chappy is this man right here, Aces High. He has not been happy chappy with the losses he's been taking. But obviously in his last match, they're up against Blueprint. Sasquatch essentially carries the past masters. Well, he doesn't carry them, but he's the main force, the brute force. And he picks up the win, pinning Miller with a running big boot. We also used his creative finish, which was a success, which is good. He pulls in a 45. We're obviously, similar to Logan, we're trying to get Sasquatch on good morale because it'll help a lot, I think, with in-ring. So Aces High essentially just doesn't want to play. He doesn't want to play ball. So thank God it's his last, because he was also a bit of a pain in the arse backstage, being an egomaniac. He gets a 30. Miller pulls in. We actually got all 50s apart from Sasquatch, which is good. Sandman Winks is pushing 60. But you know what? Overall, this is good. 60 rating. And the Blueprints take another common W. Then we actually have them calling out the tag champs. Which, the tag champs aren't in this angle, but it's essentially accepted and locked in. The very long-standing history between the Blueprint and Papa Swole and his buddies continues when Hangman and Dragon's first defence of their belts are going to be against the past masters from the Blueprint, and that will also be on next show. 44, not horrible, not great. We did have all three rated on it though, and none of them are amazing on the mic, so 43 is not horrible. I'll take it. Then we got the number one contender himself, Mutant, getting a huge win over Tennessee William, who's been on a tear ever since he joined the promotion. 60 rated. Mutant gets the win. They're pretty even, as expected. Tennessee's very good. He's going to be one of those guys. No matter what we do, it's going to be hard not to push him, because he is just like, he's good on the mic, good in the ring, good backstage presence. So they get a 60. As we move into our main event, we're trying to mix it up a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't come back to bite me on the arse here. Okay, 65. It's not horrible, I guess. Creative finish was a success. Logan takes the win over a departing Tavin Blake Jr. Okay. Not bad. 65. We'll probably get in maybe into the low 60s for a show rating, which is actually good, to be honest. I think we've been overperforming recently so much that I'm forgetting these are still huge. Mm, just double checking this. I kind of read that wrong and thought I had the wrong person to win. Never mind. Uh, oh, no dramatic stakes. I hate this. I swear before we weren't advancing storylines through matches and we were doing it through angles and it was working, and now it's not. Obviously, that can't be the case, and I just maybe assumed we were, but maybe I was somehow doing matches without realising. Um, but given that note and given the matches, honestly, you know what? I'm not even going to complain. I feel like part of me looking at how the recent shows have gone, then looking at this, it's like it's not. It's actually not even a step down. I don't know why I feel like it is. 62 at this level is huge. I'm not. Yeah, but obviously we get Logan beating Tavern. He's leaving. We give a nice rub to the Blueprint against Long Beach Crew. Thank God we did. Those little complete. Well, more so Aces High, the little bitch. And I can't believe he just didn't. He just didn't want to play. He just fucking, what the hell? What an idiot. Um, this is why people. This is why you never ever sign people on bad morale. It's never worth it. The only time it's ever worth it is if you're like one of the top promotions where you can sign anyone in the world, and maybe you bring in a guy who's going to bring you in loads of money. Otherwise, it's not worth it. I watch so many people. As much as, let's finish the show before I do this rant. As much as I'm no way, shape, or form good at this game, I don't understand why when I watch people on YouTube, whether it's this game, the last iteration, or 2016, they always have so much shit going on backstage. They bring in guys who aren't even that good, are a menace to the backstage environment, and they just keep them. I just don't get it. I almost always, when I'm searching for workers, make it so that people who are negative influences just do not show up on the list. It's just not. It's just not worth. It's not worth the hassle at all. Honestly, we're going to give this to the Crybabies, Logan and Sasquatch. I believe both of them right now are irritated, or are they annoyed? I think they might just be irritated, which is the level before normal, to get them back on good morale. Because from the worst, it goes very angry, annoyed, then irritated, and then normal, and then it starts going into the green. Um, Both only seemed pleased, which I'm pretty sure this dialogue means nothing. But if it says they're like happy or anything else, basically, it has a boost on the morale. So that's not really worked out. We did pay quite high on workers again because we still have those tag team guys, but they're gone now. I promise. I know I said it last show at the start of the episode, but they should 100% be gone now, which will deflate my overall roster bulk a little bit. But we still made money. We almost took 6,000 in ticket sales, which is huge. We took 2,000 again on the broadcast. Popularity, we go up to 34 as expected. We also go up in some other places, but we're not going to go over everything. Like we're pretty much rising everywhere. We're positive across everywhere in North America. And there we have it. I'm going to pause it here, stop it. We have, so we have I'm going to call it sort of the invasion, you could say, from Canada coming up soon. It'll probably be in December, so not this episode, but it's nothing crazy. It's just more adding a bit of variety. I've had my eyes on a lot of people who are based in Canada for a really long time, but because of the travel costs, we have not brought them in. But they're not getting any younger, and their popularity is slowly going up. And I don't like, me, I like a good bargain. So if I can get guys on 2-year deals for $40, $80, $100, I'm gonna take it, and that's exactly what we did. So good show though. 62. Considering there was no architect in action, Papaswell wasn't fighting. Even Davis Wayne, we haven't seen him in like a month now, since he fought that triple threat match for the belt, which Architect obviously won. Which is probably poor booking on my part, that some of the guys who are like the most consistent, best in-ring performers we're not using. We're kind of giving everyone a shot. But I also kind of love that at the same time that we're doing that. Essentially handicapping yourself, but we're still doing like amazing shows. Like double the show rating is what we're expected to do at this level, so really good stuff, to be honest. Alright, it's showtime. I didn't show pre-show again, but thinking about it, I probably shouldn't have bothered doing the whole back and like not showing it, essentially to keep the debuts a surprise. But it's fine. Speaking of debuts, most of the Canadian talent we've brought in are debuting tonight, as well as both titles on the line. I hope I haven't messed any of this up because I did it kind of in a rush because I really need to go. I'm chocked for time, but yeah, anyway, that's irrelevant right now. We're back to not spending as much on workers though, which is good after all the tag teams have gone. It's back down to reasonable numbers, but anyway, let's see how our debutees do. I just realised I only did 2 angles, but it's fine. Usually we do 3, but whatever. We got former champ, the most over guy in the whole promotion. Papa Swole opens the show, essentially celebrating PWW in its rise. You know, we're almost small size. He doesn't obviously say that though. But he's basically just he's excited. There's a lot of buzz right now with the way the promotion's going, which, by the way, in front of 842 people. Papa Swole starts the show off great. He knows from doing independent scene, a lot of these Canadian guys who are coming over to work in PWW, he takes it, it's an honour, so he wants to welcome them with open arms. And if there's any in the back who want a chance to essentially rise straight up the ranks, he's here. Open challenge tonight, right now. And then he gets his answer. It's none other than the Ant-Man comes out. We just didn't have him in this. Now, the Ant-Man's a multiple-time ACPW heavyweight champ. He's also someone I've had on my shortlist since day one because I used Ant-Man on almost all my saves on TEW 2020. He's very, very good, and he's pretty solid in this game too. But he obviously comes into this region of the game unknown. But we know him. Assuming you guys watching probably are familiar. If you're familiar with the C-verse, you're probably familiar with Ant-Man. He's pretty solid on the mic, good in the ring. He's got like good attributes for the backstage. He's no drama type of guy. And that match gets a 63. Nice. Okay. The only thing I'm focusing on tonight is the gimmicks, because a lot of them I changed myself. Now, Ant-Man stands at about 5'11", but he's known, like his whole background story is, he's very much known for being freakishly strong for his height. If you look at his stats, which we'll get to the stats soon for all our workers, we'll go over them. Ant-Man's power is like 94. The guy's like, he can lift anyone, which says a lot, because we have a lot of big guys that a lot of people can't lift, but that man would be able to do the job. Papa Swole had the creative finish, which we used. That's a success. And like I said I changed a lot of the gimmicks to try, and I want to make them work, because I have a list of about 5 or 6 guys who need a gimmick change, and I don't want to have to add more people on the list. So Ant-Man debuts the Ant gimmick, which is, like I say, it's almost a twist on words. The Ant-Man. The Ant, freakishly strong guy. Great rating. Let's see. Okay, no pros or cons. That's you know what? That's fine. I'll take it. This is huge because Ant-Man's good. He's got pretty decent star power too. He's a great addition to the faces, because it's very known we have a lot of very good heels. So Ant-Man's huge. A huge addition to the faces. 63 rating, starts the show, gets the crowd hotter. We're off to a flying start here. As we then move into another debut, and it's our debuting tag team. We definitely have more than enough tag team um, competitors now, considering I was worried about debuting our tag team belts, but we definitely have enough teams now. We have Grim and Graham debuting. They get very, they don't get great. I mean, it could actually be worse, but poor inadequate's not amazing. They're pretty much on par with Hot Property, but they do get the win here. Lachlan and Byron also showed. Oh no, wait, never mind. Wrong team. Wrong team. Yeah, of course they showed excellent chemistry. That's true. The commentary lifted the match though, which is nice to pull it up to a 44. Grim and Graham are very good. Star quality and performance wise, they're pretty poor, but especially Graham Gorman. Um, he's like just like no gimmick needed. He doesn't mess around. The guy he can do a lot of things in the ring. He's very, very good worker. And they're also the ACPW Tag Team Champions right now, so that's also worth noting. And they pick up a win on their PWW debut in front of 840 people as well. I know I said it before, but damn, we're losing to comedy gimmicks and being used as comic relief that's not going to happen anyway, so that's fine. Wins and losses have greater impact on momentum, okay. So that's fine. Pretty decent. I really wanted the gimmicks to be good, but it's fine. 44 rating. Pretty decent. Then we have the Architect. Tonight's huge for the Blueprint. Not only is Architect defending his belt in a hardcore match against Mutant, but the past masters have the chance to take gold, and every single piece of gold in the company would be under the hands of the Blueprint. So the Architect's going over the game plan backstage with the menacing Sasquatch in the background, and he basically says, stick to the plan. It's fine. I won't be out there because I'll be up right after you. But when you need help, when things get tough, basically, big man Sasquatch, he'll come down to the ring, do what he does best, and turn the tide in the favour of us, and then everything's good. Everything's going to be good, so don't even worry. Alright? You know, as much as I know, you can go out there and beat Hangman and Blue Dragon. Those guys, we've beaten them before many times, smashed them to the ground. They're nothing. So just go out there, do your thing. Don't even worry about it. Historians struggle going off script, but we pull in a 63, so the game plan is very well known. Rely on the big man. As Architect does so much, it's obviously now being passed down for the past masters to get the job done tonight and take the belts off of Dragon and Hangman before they even have one successful title defense, which would be brutal. The match itself, though, very maybe shockingly, not so shockingly, the match goes on. It's very close. It's a very tight match, but Dragon and Hangman beat the past masters when Hangman pins Sandman Winks with a chokeslam. They make defense number 1, and throughout the whole match there was no sign of Sasquatch. When things got tough at the sort of pinnacle end of the match, he just wasn't there. He didn't show up. He didn't come down the ramp. He didn't come out from the crowd. Architect didn't come out either. No one came out. Which I'm sure the past masters will have some questions about that. But this is huge. This is a huge match. Actually, 67's massive. Best match of the night so far too. I'm pretty sure this done better than Papa's Wolves. Hangman gets a 60. Blue Dragon with a 52. For a second there, I thought that said 62, and I almost lost my mind. Sandman was a little lower. Usually he's a bit higher than Historian, so I don't know if he wasn't obviously off his game. It would have told me, but it's a bit of an inconsistent one from him. He did get penalised for inconsistency, but we usually don't see that too often from him. But good match though. Huge, solid defense for Dragon and Hangman, but all the question marks on this match is on Blueprint. Where was the backup? They do it so often. Blueprint, they win by playing the numbers game and the tactics game, but there was none installed tonight when it mattered most. They could have won the tag team belts. And then we go into a bit of a tester match. We have 2 other debuts which get a great gimmick rating and very good, so that's solid. We have Hudson Drake debuting alongside the Minnesota Awesome, and we have Kamikaze debuting alongside LA Stars. Both of these guys are known for very good high flyers, especially Kamikaze. And the match itself does really good. We assigned this match up to be have a lot of high spots in it. You know, all of these guys are high flyers, great in the air. So we sort of put the match on that's the spotlight on that sort of thing, and it's worked out really good. We get a 69. Superb wrestling, good heat. Hudson and the Minnesota Awesome beat Kamikaze and LA Stars when Perry Longstaff pins LA Star 2 with a missile dropkick. And of course, the match was designed to revolve around a lot of high spots. This was, of course, so we could use Perry Longstaff's creative finish, which I believe he got before this show. Hudson Drake benefited from having a hot new move, so that's good. Hudson Drake comes in obviously as a heel. He's also actually pretty solid on the mic. He has decent star quality, so he's a good addition to the heels. But I think next month, or at the start of the year when we turn small, we'll go over the workers. Don't worry, I'm going to do a bit of a recap on all our workers and where they're at and where their pop's at and like what the plan is essentially, because we haven't done that pretty much at all, and so many people have came and gone and so much has happened. But solid ratings here. Both debutees get 43s. Obviously they have no pop here, but they get great ratings. Great and very good stuff here. I like it a lot, considering we got pretty poo stuff on the tag team. But as expected, look at this. LA Star 1 and 2 gets a 65, 64, 61, 62. The two strongest tag teams we have by far. And the Minnesota Awesome are actually regarded as major stars in the promotion. More so, I think, from their work in other promotions, but their popularity is crazy. They're actually like going up so fast. It's a bit scary. I'm all for it though, you know. I'm not complaining. Oh no, that's not good, because Hudson Drake's good. His fast talking sneak gimmick, a large penalty to charisma during matches and angles, and will struggle when used as a star or major star. Oh no, that's fine. Okay. Yeah, the charisma thing's not amazing, but damn. Okay, fair enough. Okay. What about Kamikaze? Nothing for the show stealer gimmick. Yeah, Kamikaze's got some absolutely crazy stats. His flashiness is like 95. His aerials up there. His fundamentals are all like in the 80s. He's really good. To be fair, all of the Canadian workers we've brought in are good. They're all good in the ring, really good. Just need to get their pop up, and they'll be very good assets to our company. And then we move in here. It's time main event. Hardcore, our first ever hardcore match too, which is pretty wild. Mutant, for the first time in a long time, much well deserved though, gets a title shot. Oh, no. The creative finish was a failure. To be honest, we used a lot of creative finishes tonight. I think this is the fourth one, and it's the first one to fail, so I mean, it was kind of coming. But the Architect beats Mutant by submission with a blueprint after a distraction from Sasquatch McGraw. Surprise, surprise. The Architect makes defense number 5. Now, even more questions will be raised as to why Sasquatch was out at ringside for the whole match with Architect. But, you know, he was nowhere to be seen to help his buddies, his apparent buddies. So, definitely questions asked there. Mutant benefits from having a hot new move, of course. Creative finish fails. 69 for Architect. Mutant brings in a 57. So we don't end the night on the best rated match, which honestly doesn't happen too often, but I did have a sneaky suspicion that the 3 vs 3 match with the tag teams and the high flying match would actually be the best, and it was. But we should still pull in a very good rating here. Yes, 66. So we can't complain. Architect keeps his belt. Dragon and Hangman make their first successful defense. Some questions to be asked between the past masters, part of the blueprint, with their leader, the boss himself, Architect, who apparently was, going to do what he had to do to make sure they get the win, and no help arrived, which is very out of character for the blueprint. Address the locker room. We can give this to Um, hmm. Good question. There's so many choices now. You know what? We'll give it to the two new guys who got good ratings on their gimmicks, Kamikaze and Hudson. It's a good example. Start that off well. So we only paid out just under 3,400, which is a big step down. We saved like 3,000 from the last couple of shows on workers. We made over 6,500 on ticket sales, 3,700 profit. So this is all good. This is all good, good, good. No complaints. We don't rise in the Great Lakes because it's the second show of the month. Everywhere else is looking pretty good. And then we're done. And we're actually going to end this episode here. And I think the next episode will probably just be 2 because it'll be the end of the year. We'll probably do both shows in December and then we'll be starting fresh when we hit small size next month. Then we'll kick it into next gear when we hit January with a more prestige, more momentum under the promotions back and stuff. And we'll be introducing our World Heavyweight Championship too, our new main event title, and we'll see how that affects the stance of all our workers. But pretty good. I'm happy with how things are going. The roster's a little bit fuller, more bloated than I would like, but I feel like we have good workers though, and a lot of the workers and a lot of our guys are still improving every single week, every single month. So they're only going to get better. The pop's only going to get better. We're essentially making our own stars, which I like, rather than just going onto the free agents and picking up everyone I can and just paying them what they want and getting that instant pop hit. I don't really, yeah. I'm glad we're doing it this way. But I'm going to call it there. And I shall see you guys next time.